in good spirits, and blessings are pouring all over you, honey. So as you guessed from the title, it will be a very unapologetic video. Is black ignorance a thriving, or soon to be crashing, soon to be collapsing, $1 million business? So first things first, if a history is constantly rewritten, hidden, destroyed, manipulated, that causes a loss of history, dignity, culture. If black beauty is constantly labeled as ugly, it's gonna generate insecurities. And you're not seeing as much positive connotations.
That's gonna have some kind of effect on the membrane.
Sorry, I just had a moment. So now that we've got that out of the way, what exactly is black ignorance? Black ignorance is to infuse the black community with a newfound pride in religion, outlook on life, values, value systems, culture, identity. Following that which is by design created so that you are far, far away in the sunken place, fast asleep. Copying that which is seen as godly. Let's expand a little bit further, shall we? Black ignorance is continuing to produce alienated individuals who are socialized into mistreating, disacknowledging their heritage which produced them, but living the Western way which rejects them, being so far gone down the margins that you are willing to do anything to look, embody, examine, cooperate, function like anybody else other than thyself. Black ignorance is about continuing to remain and be comfortable having limited power, being forced to just think about past problems and see no way out. Very limited perception on what it means to be free, truly free, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially free.
That said, we cannot deny that we've had the most influential, game changers, impactors, true legends. The world owes it to the black community.
But not just that, compelling, rhythmically, succinctly, conceivably, unbelievably, tangibly, impeccably, eccentric, electric, ecstatic, charismatic, which helped pave the way. It was a blessing to have had the biggest, boldest names behind it, reflecting the times, changing the times for a lifetime. Had it not been for these activists, fearless leaders, conscious lyricists, willing to birth a revolution, the world may not be as we know it today. Really? Wow. Yes, really. When we look back historically as to why it's been such a thing, we can sure thank the entertainment industry for that. I mean, we had the minstrels, which is basically the entertainment industry's way of saying, we love black talent, we love black history, but not enough to have you involved in our entertainment events, to step foot into our stadiums. Know your place. Instead, we're gonna paint ourselves like you, we're gonna learn to dance rhythmically like you, and we're gonna get into the whole motion. True black talent onto a screen near you. 1688, European maritime. Explorers described Africans, blacks, as close to apes, less of a human being. So that meant blacks were treated less of a human being. But the whole understatement when it comes to the entertainment industry of representing and projecting and acknowledging what is right and what is wrong, who plays what part, has always been a huge stigma in the entertainment industry. I feel like it's time for a bit of story time. If any of you are familiar with the reality TV show Love and Hip Hop, then a lot of you will know what actually goes on in that show. I had the opportunity to study in the States, and my teacher used to be a producer for Love and Hip Hop. I do recall a lot of the details he was giving me about his part to play in the representation of blacks. And even though he would tell me he did not agree with everything that went on, it was his job at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's just popular entertainment. It's what sells. The biggest, scariest thing which has created black ignorance is skin bleaching. Playing on the mind of what is attractive, what is sexy, what is appealing, what is wanting, what is desirable. young black girls and boys to feel as though they're undesired. A lot of this was mainly promoted to expand the slave workforce without moral impediments. And it was a cornerstone of business and government policy in England and in its Caribbean and American colonies. And what is not told, sadly, is the side effects. The drying, the redness, the hyperpigmentation, the cell damaging, the skin inflammation, the kidney damages, the permanent kidney damages, the neurological symptoms such as anxiety, depression, psychosis. A lot of these things have become a global phenomenon, which then triggered colorism issues. Every woman wants that feeling of security, certainty, and acknowledgement and appreciation. A lot of countries that are still heavily influenced by skin bleaching, skin lightening, doesn't know their worth or see their value of the beauty of melanin, the beauty that they carry. But with that said, is it soon to be a crashing, a collapsing $1 million business? I am seeing an uproar, an uprise to be really in tune with black beauty, to understand the depth of black beauty, that black beauty cannot be measured, it cannot be set aside, it cannot be portioned. From the different hair textures, skin complexions, facial features, there is just so much diversity within itself. And when you really break down the notion of what blackness is, what is black? The whole movement on black girl magic has given young girls a chance to look in the mirror and for once say, I am beautiful, I am worthy. When hair can be put into dreadlocks and you really understand the essence of dreadlocks and where it originated from, that it is connected to your power, that it is a divine essence of spirituality. And when you look into what it symbolizes wisdom, a constant spiritual reminder that you are the master of your own force, your devotion to purity, that you are expected to generate goodness onto yourself and others.
Researchers looked at 18 hair products sold in the US and traditionally used by black women, like hair relaxers, hot oil treatments, anti-frizz or leave-in conditioners. Every product they looked at contained endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs. That means they interfere with the way our bodies produce hormones, and many of those products are actually banned in Europe.
We know from previously published research that black women have higher rates of uterine fibroids, of infertility, earlier onset of puberty, as well as rising rates of endometrial and breast cancers.
My advice to black women would be educate yourself. Get to know some of the more common dangerous ingredients like parabens and even silicone oils.
Hair care is a massive issue.
It is. It's something that speaks to the heart of identity for a lot of black women and black girls. Hair isn't just hair for us. It's the number one signifier of our race, and it is very much tied into our race and how we view ourselves. And historically, our hair has been something we've kind of felt ashamed of and felt was inferior. So my books kind of are about celebrating black hair, black skin, black beauty, and hopefully helping a new and younger generation that's coming up develop a love for their hair and what is naturally coming out of their heads.
So is black ignorance yet to be a collapsing $1 million business? It is looking good for the most part. There are so many independent filmmakers that are going out of their way to put on short films or documentaries. Black consciousness that just doesn't get shown, it doesn't get represented. It's just not the case, unfortunately, in the nature of the business. And throughout the world, I'm seeing everyone, regardless of race, get involved in celebrating African, Caribbean culture. Amazing activists that have come in to shine: Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Martin Delany, Kwame Nkrumah. History is being rescripted. The notion of self is changing from separation to being at one. There's connections on the rise, breaking the patterns of black ignorance. Musically, it just keeps on getting richer. Minds are getting stronger. What was once seen as ugly, taboo, powerless is now being seen as strong and fierce, sexy, appealing, desirable, wanted. Perhaps the whole game of black ignorance is starting to cripple. There's now a new sense of empowerment, inspiration, and embracement. It's becoming more and more apparent that what was once erased is being retraced. That which was unexposed is being reinvented. That which was the missing link between normality and reality is being called for action. Black consciousness is the true answer to eliminating black ignorance. We have to get rid of parts of ourselves that are the shackles that are binding us in perpetual servitude. But just like that, the challenges will continue to get more fiercer as time goes by, of course. As new stocks for bleaching creams come in, as a higher demand for skin lightening becomes more popular, as more dominating forces are wanting to stick to stereotypes and using it as the foundation of what sells, what's attractive. There will be a lot of challenges, but when we can actually go back to the source and the origin of what has triggered Black ignorance and what has set the bar high for a lot of young girls and young boys to break out of that mentality, to unlearn of what they've learned. So guys, as always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the very next video. The series on ignorance is soon to be coming to an end, but I have something in store for you just before then. So without further ado, I'll see you in the very next video. Peace and love, and all of the above.